I'm Scratch Jr., and I'll be your guide through ancient Egypt today. Here we go! Ancient Egypt was divided into Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. This might seem upside down, but it made sense to the Egyptians because of the Nile River's flow from south to north. Look, there's the Nile. It's the longest river in the world, running 400 miles north from Central Africa to the Mediterranean Sea. At its source, the Nile is two separate rivers, the Blue Nile and the White Nile, which join just south of Egypt to form the Nile River. The Blue Nile is sourced in the snowy mountains of eastern Africa, while the White Nile begins in the tropics of Central Africa. Before the Nile reaches the Mediterranean Sea, however, it splits off into many branches like a fan, called a delta. Its flow is predictable, flooding annually at about the same time each year. Egyptian farmers knew that around midsummer, the Nile would overflow its banks and inundate the land. Every year, the farmers would be waiting, ready to take advantage of the cycle. Through the centuries, the river has created a lush green valley called the Nile Valley. There it is! It borders the largest deserts in the world. To the west is the Libyan Desert, which is part of the Sahara. To the east is the Eastern Desert, which extends to the Red Sea. These deserts, though scorchingly hot, were useful for protecting ancient Egypt from outside invaders. In addition to deserts, other geographical features also kept ancient Egypt isolated. To the south, where the Blue and White Nile met, steep cliffs and large boulders formed cataracts, or dangerous rapids. The cataracts made navigating the Nile hard and prevented enemy ships from attacking Egypt. In the north, delta marshes stopped invaders sailing in from the Mediterranean Sea. However, Egypt was not completely cut off from other countries. The Mediterranean and Red Seas provided trade routes. Egyptians used the wind patterns so they could travel and trade. The pyramids of ancient Egypt are the most famous examples of Egyptian architecture. They were built as tombs for pharaohs and their wives, as well as icons of power. These enormous structures were made of stone and covered the area of several city blocks. Pyramids protected the bodies of dead pharaohs from floods, wild animals, and robbers. Thousands of workers spent years of hard labor to build the pyramids. Farmers did much of the work during the summer months when the Nile flooded and they could not farm, although surveyors, engineers, carpenters, and stonecutters also helped with the building process. Workers searched for stone in places throughout the Nile Valley or in Upper Egypt, and the stone was then cut into huge blocks by artisans with copper tools. Those blocks were then fastened onto wooden sleds and pulled along a path made of logs to the Nile, where the stone was put onto barges, carrying everything to the building site. Finally, workers unloaded the blocks and pushed or pulled them up ramps to be set in place at each level of the pyramid. The earliest pyramids were step pyramids. They had platforms leading to the top, like steps, unlike true pyramids, which had smooth sides. 3 important pyramids were built by Pharaoh Sneferu. The Maiden Pyramid was the first ever true pyramid. It was unstable, however, and when the block slipped, the pyramid was abandoned. The Bent Pyramid was Sneferu's second pyramid. As its name implies, this pyramid was lopsided and caved in. Finally, Sneferu built the Red Pyramid, which was named for its red limestone blocks. It was the first successful pyramid. Around 2550 to 2490 BC, the Egyptians built the famous Pyramids of Giza. There were 3 of these pyramids. The first, called the Great Pyramid, was built by Sneferu's son, Pharaoh Khufu. The second was built by Khufu's son, Pharaoh Khafre. And the last was built by Khafre's son, Pharaoh Menkaure. Khafre also built the Sphinx, a limestone monument with the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh. The Sphinx's head was modeled after Khafre's. What a coincidence! The ancient Egyptians believed that writing was invented by the god Thoth and called their hieroglyphic script Midjur Necher, meaning words of gods. The word hieroglyph comes from the ancient Greek word hieros, meaning sacred, combined with glyphos, meaning inscriptions. Sometimes the inscriptions were very detailed and in full color, while in other cases they were just outlines. The hieroglyphic script was mostly used formally in temples and tombs. For everyday purposes, the hieratic script was used. The hieratic script was essentially a simplified form of the hieroglyphic script. It's possible that Egyptian writing has been around for longer than Sumerian cuneiform writing. If that's true, then the Egyptian language is the oldest known writing system. It's also possible that the two scripts developed around the same time. Only about 700 different hieroglyphic characters were used to write in classical and Middle Egyptian languages. In comparison, over 5,000 characters were used to write in the Greek and Roman languages.
In hieroglyphic script, the direction of the lines varied. It could be written from left to right, from right to left, or from top to bottom. However, the animals and people in the inscriptions always face the beginning of the line. There are three main types of hieroglyphs: phonograms, logograms, and determinatives. A phonogram indicates one or more sounds, or syllables. A logogram represents an entire word. A determinative indicates the end of a word and provides further information concerning the meaning of the word. For example, look at this hieroglyph. It says cat. When writing the word cat, the ancient Egyptians combined the phonograms for mew with a picture of a cat as a determinative. Ancient Egyptians worshipped many animals for thousands of years. Different animals were worshipped for different reasons. Dogs were valued for their hunting and protecting abilities, but cats, like me, were thought to be the most special. Egyptians believed cats were magical animals, able to bring good luck to the people who housed them. To honor these treasured pets, owners dressed them in jewels and fed them treats fit for royalty. When the cats died, they were mummified, just like the pharaohs. As a sign of mourning, the cat's owner shaved off their eyebrow hair and continued to mourn till their eyebrows grew back. Art from ancient Egypt shows statues and paintings of every type of cat. We were so important that the people who killed us, even by accident, were sentenced to death.
According to Egyptian mythology, gods and goddesses had the power to transform into different animals. Only one deity, the goddess of protection called Bastet, had the power to become a cat. In the city of Pur-Bast, a beautiful temple was built, and people came from all over to experience its splendor.
Alright, now that we're done with our tour... Oh, hi Dad!
I've been looking everywhere for you, Scratch Jr.
Oh, sorry. Forgot to tell you that I was guiding a tour today. Anywho, I have to go. Thanks for watching!
Sorry to interrupt. Bye.